killed the dinosaurs. The Ice Age.
You want a cup of Joe with juice?
I'm gonna make you famous, Lizzie.
It's not Al anymore. It's Dunk.
Dunkachino?
Don't mind if I do.
I'm the Joker, baby.
Welcome to Lights, Camera, Barstool, episode 41 of Season 2. Jeff Lowe alongside Ken Jack. Just us this week. We're talking Lightyear, Pixar. The newest Pixar movie is out. It's the second time we've talked about a Toy Story movie on this podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
We did do Toy Story 4, yeah. Talking Lightyear. We also have two interviews. We have an interview with Wyatt Russell from recently Captain America, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'll never get that right. He played U.S. agent. I almost said John Carter, which we actually are. We're interviewing John Carter this week. We're talking to Taylor Kitsch this week. Yeah, we do get to talk to Taylor Kitsch this week. Also, 22 Jump Street, bunch of other things. Son of Kurt and Chase Crawford, one of my favorite shows, The Boys. We got to talk to him about it. It was very cool. We got talking about all my. I have to watch it. Like now, I don't even like. Before I was doing it mildly out of spite because like I would eventually watch it. People are.
It's a good running bit.
I will watch it now. Like it will happen.
That was a really fun interview too. That's like one of the funner ones we've had in a long time. The Chance Crawford one. Great in-person energy.
He brought you'll hear like he brought a beer in. Like we have so much liquor in our office, like everywhere, but nobody ever would be like, hey, it's always coffee or water. And he must have saw the beer and been like, can I get the fucking beer? Like, can I just
you get like a room temperature Coors Light in a glass. It was incredible.
Yeah, it definitely. We don't have cold beverages in our office. Like we rarely, awesome. Sometimes Body Armor. Sometimes.
Yeah, very rarely, but yes.
Yeah, So yeah, we talked to him. It was very fun interview. They're we'll call a spade. They're just more fun in person. Like it's just an easier. Yeah. It's easier for everybody when the interviews are in person. So we'll do that, and then we're not gonna like do. Because it's just the two of us, we're not gonna do a draft. We're not gonna do like we've done rankings of Pixar. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do a tier of Pixar movies. We're gonna agree on them though. It's gonna be our singular tier. Yeah. So we'll do that at the end. We have a couple interviews this week. We also have former top 5 pick Gerald McCoy, a former Buccaneer. Yeah. He's a big comic book guy, Star Wars guy. We're gonna do a big Marvel and DC draft with him. Actually, maybe just be like a nerd draft too. I kind of left it open ended.
He's a big time comic book nerd. You scroll through his Twitter if you just want proof of it. He tweets about like every single comic book movie like 1,000 times.
He tweeted a gif of Superman decapitating Batman like the other day.
Guys, he knows what he likes, and he likes both DC and Marvel a lot. So that'll be fun too.
Yeah, so we'll have hopefully it'll be the first of many times he can have money. He says what everybody who argues with me wishes happened, but it didn't. It's just Superman ripping off Batman's fucking head.
Who was that? There was a prospect, I think, an NFL prospect who put out their like top Marvel movies ranked or something, and they had like Ant-Man 2 as their favorite Marvel movie of all time, and Ant-Man 1 was like last place.
It was a rookie, right?
Yeah, who was it? We should have them on too with Gerald McCoy if we can. That'd be really fun.
I think it. Oh man, I don't know why I'm saying this. I want to say it was one of the Ohio State receivers the Jets drafted.
You're 100% correct. But I just I know because I tweeted it, and I
forget which one they drafted. I think it was Chris Olave. I could be wrong on that though. I was also out last night, and all the New York Jets rookies were there, and I'm pretty confident that could be crazy. By the way, to get millions of dollars, I do love the bars of the shore. Crazy to get millions of dollars and go slum it with just the heathens at the Jersey Shore. Just a crazy move, but they look like they had a good time.
It was like Daniel Jones, right? Didn't he do that?
Yeah, Saquon's hey, you know what though? They want to be normal people. I don't blame them. So yeah, we got a bunch of that this week, and then the two interviews today are a lot of fun. Crawford gave a pretty fucking funny answer to one of our like hypothetical questions.
Very NBA. It was EJ Little. I forgot it was an NBA guy. It was EJ Little.
Oh, it was Ohio State though. I knew it was Ohio State.
Yep.
And he's gonna be in the draft. So there you go. Okay.
Yes,
I was. Close enough. This episode of Lights, Camera, Barstool is brought to you by Everly Well. When you know more, you can do more. And what if you could use science to discover more about your body? That's right. Find out What you need for your healthier tomorrow with Everlywell. It's a digital healthcare designed for you, all at affordable, transparent prices. Men's health, thyroid test. We had a thyroid testing, sent it out. I don't have the results yet. We just did it. But thyroid test, very important. You can find a lot of fucking important shit out with that test. Ranging between many different things that'll help correct things in your life. Everlywell ships products straight to you with everything needed in one package. You'll be able to choose a test that make most sense for you. Like we said, again, regular health test, a thyroid test. You take your at-home lab, collect your sample, use the included prepaid shipping label, mail it back to a certified lab. Your physician-reviewed results get sent to your phone or device in just days. You can share the results with your primary care physician to help guide next steps. Simple. Over 1 million people have trusted Everlywell to support their health and wellness goals, and you should too. We took them. Well, maybe we'll share podcast host share thyroid results live on it.
Yeah, let's do like a straight up HIPAA violation like on the pod. That'll be like the LCB HIPAA test or something.
Here we go. We're fine. Okay. Everlywell is offering a special discount of 20% off an at-home lab test at everlywell.com/LCB. That's everlywell.com/LCB for 20% off your next at-home lab test. everlywell.com/LCB. I had to have blood drawn the other day because I had to go on fucking medicine for my psoriasis. And I was just sitting there chatting with the person he's like, you have to get a blood test often? I said, no. I said, I used to have to get it for medications on like back in the day. And I was like, I haven't had my blood tested in years. And I'm like, all right, I need conversation because they were like delaying him. And I said, I haven't had a blood test since I heard about Theranos, actually. He's like, oh, I guess you would never believe the people. It was a quest. Never believe the people that come in here. It's like every day is like 4 or 5 would be like, yeah, they'll bring Theranos up in some way, shape, or form. Which like
Chief Cookin comes back to haunt everybody, Elizabeth Holmes.
Look, I don't love giving blood. Pretty fucking quick. And I understand there's people who have to do it. I mean, my dad had diabetes. My dad had to put insulin like needles daily. I know me getting it one time is not a big deal, but I will say, like, one of the things that for sure destroyed Theranos fact that like it's not like Quest they remove all of your blood. Like it's still fairly simple. So it's like the difference between it's like that the professor from Stanford who like kind of roasted Elizabeth Holmes in like real life and in like the show or whatever. She like you kind of brought that. It's like it's not great, but it's also like we'll move on.
Difficult. And like I have really shitty veins too. The one thing that sucks about getting blood drawn is like it takes forever for them to find the veins. But like even then, like it's not that once they get it, it's fine. It's so quick and like not that painful or anything.
But again, there are people who have to get it routinely, and that is I get like the idea behind Theranos, but it's one of those things. It's like, at what point do you commit mass fraud? Yeah, and not to move on and do something else. Like at what point? It's not like she was moving us from like no cars to cars. Like she was definitely making something easier, but it's like, at what point do you commit mass fraud and just say like, you know what, maybe something else. Maybe I'll do something else.
Don't quote Yoda next time.
Did you ever watch that show?
Sonny Balwani, god damn it. Yeah, I didn't finish it, but like the first few episodes of it were like, okay.
Ooh,
like I didn't.
This is the original show that pissed people off that I watched. That I didn't watch The Boys. It was Flight Attendant. I'm not going to pretend I refuse to. Not going to pretend I watched Flight Attendant very intently all the way through, but I had it up while doing some work, and I know the beats of the story, I know the storylines. Oh man, this new season was oh my god, I hated it so much. But the problem is, you start a mystery like that, you have to finish it.
Yeah, I'm more focused on the good HBO shows like Righteous Gemstones casting Steve Zahn for season 3, like that rocks. Like those shows are the ones on HBO that you should be paying attention to. Like, and all the people are like, yeah, I gotta watch Flight Attendant. Like, there are so many great TV shows, and a million new ones drop every single day. You don't need to stick to one because it has the Big Bang Theory lady in it.
I was like gonna watch something else instead. I'm like, I need just background noise. Like, you know what? I'll throw Flight Attendant up there, and you could tell it like wasn't that interesting because I forgot the finale came out for like 2 weeks, and I was like, oh shit, did I not watch the finale? And then I started it on my computer because I was watching on my TV, and I'm like, man, this is familiar. I was watching the first episode of the first season again. I was like, man, this is strange. Just running this back. Before we get into news, ObiWan Kenobi thoughts. Which we didn't even do any last week. So I guess the last 2 episodes, which the 4th episode people didn't like. I actually liked it, but the last one was, I think, easily the best one.
Yeah, it's definitely the best one so far. It's like I love all the parts with Anakin and Obi-Wan, and like at this point, like I don't want almost any other character involved. Although I did like Like some of them are like, okay, I feel like they're very, very much underusing O'Shea Jackson Jr., although I guess he might have a bigger part to play later. Because they're talking about, I think Deborah Chow was mentioning something about other seasons of the show or something like that. But the show's been like, okay. Like, it's not one where I'm like, yeah, Mandalorian level, like, we got breakdowns, we got to talk this all the time. It's amazing. It's ground shattering. It's just like, it's solid. It's like solid. And like, I appreciate that for what it is. I still think that, and this is our biggest complaint, I know last time we talked about it, was just like, with a good soundtrack, this is such a different show. Yeah. Like with a good soundtrack, it completely changes the landscape of the show with just a different soundtrack.
Which are we gonna get? Are we gonna get Duel of the Fates in the finale?
Is it Duel of Fates or Battle of the Heroes? Because Duel of Fates is Darth Maul, right?
They used it, but they used it in the trailer. Well, so Duel of the Fates, one of them, Battle of the Heroes or Anakin versus Obi-Wan, does have, I know, musical cues, I believe, from Duel of the Fates.
Duel, yeah.
But it wasn't the trailer, and so like I did think, I'm like, that's, it's not like playing David Bowie in the Lightyear trailer. I didn't expect to hear it in the movie, but like I kind of thought we'd hear it at some point. I hope we hear the Anakin versus Obi-Wan. They're obviously going to show down again. I'm looking forward to it. I kind of crazy it's already over. I don't think it's perfect by any means. I think it gets way too bad. I think it's being way too critically analyzed. Like I think Boba Fett was very simply had very simple problems that dragged that show down. Like I think it was pretty easy to point it out and it wasn't nitpicked. I think this show has its issues, no doubt. It is nowhere near as good as Mandalorian, but I think Mandalorian is like very good. Like I think it's
exceptional,
it's very good. This show is nitpicked so fucking much, it's exhausting. And I actually think people are going to like it more. Like, dude, just shut the fuck up. I thought the Reva character, I think, has redeemed in a way that I didn't like the way she jumped and shit, but like, I think it's a good character. I like the way it lines up. It's a little different. It's a little unique.
Definitely got better.
I liked the show. I thought Vader's fourth power was fucking badass. Only crazy thing, Grand Inquisitor came back after being stabbed in the stomach. You think they would have checked on Reva? Might have been like, I'm nitpicking now, but, feel like they'd have been like, no, fuck.
That was a big time move, like, because like literally the example is him. Like he's the one who was left down in the gutter to die, and he came back. So you might think, but what was his line? He's like, "You're gonna die here in the gutter, just like you came from." Which is a badass line by the Inquisitor. It was. He's
obviously was gonna come back because they cast like a known actor.
Yeah.
But I did his kind of like mic drop when he walked in too. He's like Grand Inquisitor, and he puts like the pin, which I love. By the way, like. It's just a fucking pin. That's like all it takes. Like it's in a world where they have like lightsabers in the Force, like they're just wearing like pins on their chest. That's how they like identify who's who.
Like they're a nerd in like a high school TV show or something.
Yeah. Because it's not even like they have like full like military things. Like a lot of the people do in Star Wars, like a lot of the Empire. It's just like a little pin they get at like Disney.
Yeah. The other guys get like how does an Imperial officer get like a chevron or something? But then like an Inquisitor can't get anything better than a fucking pin.
Like right there. Also, I have a theory. I have a theory that Vader helped design their lightsabers to be shittier. They have shitty lightsabers, the Inquisitors. They're like crappy. Like they break easily. Though in general, double-sided lightsabers, I would never have one.
Almost exclusively wielded by the losers.
Yes.
General Krell in Clone Wars, Darth Maul, both times. Savage Opress, like everyone who's used a double-sided lightsaber has lost. It's just bad numbers.
I do appreciate because like there's people who really want to pick apart like so many things, but I appreciate there's like the big nerds who will do it in the reverse and they'll find every story detail to like dunk like people. So someone's like, well, Qui-Gon, he didn't survive the same stabbing from Darth Maul, which is like, okay, fair point. But
different
then
species.
People come in, they're like, also the Sith. They can cheat death differently. Like they can do like the Jedi can't do things. Like that's the whole point of like Palpatine's speech about, Darth Plagueis. Like, that's a great fucking point. See, there you go. It's like, if you want to nitpick one way, we can fucking nitpick back and forth. Maybe just enjoy it. Funny if the Red Letter Media guys did a review on it and Mike was they had their issue, but he's like, well, he didn't note that he had watched it after he watched Picard, and Picard is like so bad. He's like nothing. He said literally, I think he said like watching like a steaming pile of shit would be good compared to Picard. But he's like, it's intriguing. It's like it's fun. It's a fun show. Like just have fun with it. The
species that the Grand Inquisitor is, they could have like its brains in its balls and its stomach in its head. Like it's literally just an entirely alien species. There could be nothing where she stabbed him. You never know. That never bothered me.
We'll see how it ends. One more episode. I caught up on Ms. Marvel. I think Ms. Marvel is a lot of fun. Yes, it's absolutely for a different demographic and age, but I think it's just enjoyable. It's like if you like Marvel, it's just fun and it's light and it doesn't have. I think some of the shows and series have had like a serious tone, which is fine. That's what the show is, and have had this like kind of aura of being super fucking important, and then they kind of don't end up being important, or they do, but like you're right, like I think WandaVision is what everyone talks about, where it's like it felt like it was building this big thing, and then it did. It ended like importantly for the MCU, but not in a way that was like, oh fuck, this show just feels like it's having fun, and she is going to be obviously a pretty integral character going forward. But I like what they do. Also, some of the like the shots went viral of like the way they had her like falling on the couch. With the
yeah, that was cool.
It's one of the better looking Marvel things in recent memory.
They do a lot of those what do you call it, Mitchell's versus the Machine type like artistic like visuals and things like that, and I think they look really cool. I think it aids the character very, very well, and like I really feel good for I already forgot her name, even though I just fucking blogged about her very recently, the girl who plays Mrs. Marvel, who's like a huge Marvel super stan and just loved Miss Marvel. The fact that she gets to play here and she plays her like extremely well is great. And yeah, I think it's like this is one where you might even talk about this with Lightyear, where like there's a different set of expectations for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Amon Villani, that's it. Yeah. There's just a different set of expectations. Like you don't go into this show expecting it to be Loki or whatever, something else. Like you expect it to be sort of geared towards like a preteen age group of Marvel fans, and they just have a fun time. It's like comfort food, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Like I enjoy it. I think it kind of got buried a little bit underneath Kenobi. I think people saw the trailer and they were like, "Oh, it's for kids." I mean, it's a younger hero. It's also fine. Yeah, I enjoyed them. It's been a surprise. So yeah, that's got a few left. Kenobi ends this week though, so we'll have our thoughts of Kenobi along with our review of Elvis.
Thank God. Can't wait for that one. The Boz. It's time to talk some Boz.
I'm so fucking excited. I'm just so excited.
What day is that? Thursday? Is that this Thursday?
Yeah. Here's some. Actually, somebody said their screenings on Wednesday. I may go see it. I can't wait any longer. I'm just so fucking. Also, did you see Tom Hanks yell at somebody in New York?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Good for him. They're chasing him down for autographs, and they fucking trip Rita Wilson, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Notice how two of the most ubiquitously loved actors in Hollywood, Will Smith and Tom Hanks, both big wife guys. Don't fuck with their wives.
Yeah.
If there's a very nice celebrity out there that like you don't think is like mean at all, just go and like do anything to upset them regarding their wife, and they will fucking destroy you.
And then see how nice Tom Hanks will be. Yeah. I actually was happy with the reaction because I was like, oh, if I click on this, people are like mad at Tom Hanks. I'm like, look. Mm-hmm. Some celebrities don't need to be dicks. Like you trip somebody's wife, like because you want a fucking autograph, and you're gonna have him sign something you're gonna put on eBay. Like, chill out. This was big news. This happened I think this happened Monday, so it happened the day we released our pod. Lady Gaga nearing a deal to star as Harley Quinn in the Joker. I'm calling it Joker 2. I won't be using the subtitle.
Fuck the French bullshit. Yeah, that sucks.
I won't be doing that.
And there's significance to it, which I read about. I know, I get it's important. I'm not going to say it still.
Yeah, so we talked about it. The title implied that there's probably going to be some sort of Harley Quinn connection. Sure enough, Lady Gaga will star in the movie, and it will be a musical, which is crazy. I don't know. I kind of like it. I
think it's awesome.
I don't really. Like, could it be a complete pile of shit? Yeah, but at this point, especially for a movie and for a property that they trumpeted like it not being a comic book thing, okay, keep doing different weird shit. I think this could be like it's hard to follow that movie up with a regular sequel, right? Like it had to be something crazy different. Maybe it's like a dream sequence for him because he's in, we don't really know how it ended and like what part was a dream, what part was real. And like, I know there's questions about that, and I'm sure they'll keep it pretty open-ended. I think this is cool. And you have one of the best singers in the world, like coming into the movie.
Exactly.
So like, it could be complete shit. People are gonna be mad because some people, and I'm not saying that you're wrong on this, but people inherently do hate musicals. I get that. I don't, so I'm excited for it, but it's something different.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit, I think, on that last episode. And I think that at least my biggest takeaway from it was like, where do you go with this story? Because the most redeeming part of the first Joker movie is Joaquin Phoenix's performance. And he can't top that. We talked about that pretty much at length. But like the musical idea is so cool because I think like you can make it into this sort of Sweeney Todd, Phantom of the Opera, like psychotic, like Little Shop of Horrors, like really twisted sort of musical out of it. And I think that that's a really unique way to sort of move the story forward. And obviously Lady Gaga's a great singer, but like people forget Joaquin Phoenix did Johnny Cash and he sang all of his lines. Dude can still pipe it out. The one thing that maybe holds me up a little bit is, and I think we talked about this with Star is Born and stuff too. Like I like Lady Gaga a lot. I don't think she's a particularly strong actress. And I think the level of like sort of psychotic, in-depth acting you need to be Harley Quinn is difficult. And especially when you're acting up against someone who's going to be like at the zenith of psychopathy with Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, I think that's going to be very difficult for her. And also with like Margot Robbie being like so iconic in that role for whatever that's worth. Not as iconic as like, say, for example, Joaquin Phoenix stepping into Joker after Heath Ledger, but like still, it's like she's the character and she does it extremely well. So I don't know. He's very surprising, Todd Phillips. This isn't something I think he would do. Like it's just like it's not something that I would imagine him being all up, be interested in doing at all. But like again, it's unique and it's different, and that's I think a great way to move the story forward instead of it being like a bland sequel.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing is that it is something different. It's something that we haven't seen. Will it work? Maybe not, but I'd much rather watch a failure in an effort to be different than just watch the same old fucking thing. Because I'll tell you what, I think Joker's a really good movie. I gave it high marks. I don't need to see fucking plain Jane regular ass sequel for that movie. Like that, I don't need to see. So yeah, that's the news on Lady Gaga. Going to be in Joker 2, it sounds like. Kit Harington will reprise his role as Jon Snow in a sequel series, to Game of Thrones. Just significant. Yeah. Are they going to retcon things? I wouldn't be shocked. I would be I actually would be shocked if they don't retcon things.
Yeah, they need like they basically need like a Filoni for Game of Thrones, someone that can go in and clean up all the mess, like just like make everything make sense. I don't. The biggest problem for me anyway with like a Jon Snow sequel is like he spent so much time, so many seasons north of that fucking wall, out in the snow, out in the tundra, and everything like that. I don't want to see him there anymore. The only thing that would interest me is him in the South, and I don't think that they would keep him in the North for like an entire sequel series, but like. I don't know. I think the one thing that I would want out of this is something where he goes back south and doesn't have to like take the throne or something, but does something that brings him back into prominence instead of being a fucking exile, even though he was like the one, I would say, character that was like universally liked at the very least. Like people might have been annoyed with Jon Snow, but I feel like everyone at the very least liked him, unlike every other character in the show.
Yeah, I think there's nothing for me that is more intriguing than just if they're going to change stuff. And I watched a couple things on Rise of Skywalker the other day because I was like, I hadn't like really thought about the movie in a while, and I was just kind of chuckling at just the various things that they did with that movie and just really just changed The Last Jedi, which it will only forever make me more irritated because I still love the things The Last Jedi did, despite its faults. But there's such a negative fucking just aura around Game of Thrones. Like Star Wars had it with Last Jedi and it was divisive, but not to like Game of Thrones has a you ruined the whole fucking thing vibe to it. And I know some people have had that take with Star Wars, don't get me wrong, but like Game of Thrones was viewed in such a negative way that people stopped talking about it. Mm-hmm. Like people didn't stop talking about Star Wars. Like people were like I don't acknowledge that anymore. Like even when like the prequel trailer came out, yeah, people were excited. Like we talked shit about it. We kind of got shit about that, but there was not the same vibe for that say there was for like the new Star Wars shows after Star Wars movies that came out that people weren't happy about, right? So we'll see. I would be surprised if they don't change some things a little bit and maybe fans, which I'm not saying is always a good thing. I don't think what they did with with the Rise of Skywalker was a good thing at all. But I'm curious if they try it because it's there, precedent's there. It can be done with a big franchise.
Exactly. It would be a difficult move for them. Again, I think it's just they need a showrunner that knows what Game of Thrones fans want, and like that's it. That's literally the only thing that they really need. Like that's someone that can really like dig into like the Nielsen brain of every single human being and figure that out.
Again, their version of Filoni. Even though some people don't love a lot of some of the stuff that happens but I think for the most part, the series have been, especially Mandalorian, more and the animated stuff more well received. Yeah. First trailer for Netflix's Blonde, starring Ana de Armas as Marilyn Monroe, rated NC-17, though it's on Netflix, so it's like kind of like there's a bit of a weird like gray area there. hits Netflix September 23rd. She does play Marilyn Monroe. Adrian Brody in the movie. Bobby Cannavale playing Joe DiMaggio. A role he was born to play, I bet.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Other names in it, not a ton of like crazy recognizable names in the movie. But mostly the main four, it seems, it's Ana de Armas, Adrian Brody, Bobby Cannavale, and Julianne Nicholson. Also the Lucy DeVito, the daughter of Danny DeVito, is in the movie.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know.
To watch it.
I don't know. What do you think?
Excited for it. It's like she's like such a fascinating person, and like the hype around it. I think like this is so bizarre for him to do, but Andrew Dominic, the director, said like, "Oh, I think it's like one of the greatest films ever made," which is like weird for a director to say about their own movie. Ana de Armas said it was like, "Oh, it's the most feminist take on Marilyn Monroe ever made," which like I don't know what that means really, because I don't know how many other takes on Marilyn Monroe. But I'm excited for the huge reason, Ana de Armas obviously both being one of the most attractive human beings alive and just an actually phenomenal actress. And I get to see probably my old great grandpa JFK dick down Marilyn Monroe in a movie.
Probably.
With full nudity, full penetration. So I think that's pretty cool.
I actually, funny enough, not even because of this movie, I read something, I just like a small thing on that the other day, and I just that always be fun. Like her just singing to him is just still like, it's just one of those things. It's so parodied and made fun of that like you almost don't even think about how absurd it is. Like in the context of like if that happened today, that happened to like Obama or Trump or Biden, like how just ridiculous, just the ridiculousness of that, like what that would look like. It's crazy. Yeah. I always go to, I like Andrew Dominic. I think that quote's absurd. But I mean, assassination of Jesse James by the Cowboy Robert Ford. I think you and I both really like that movie. I think you and I both agree. You have it rated higher than me. I think Killing Him Softly is actually underrated.
Yeah, me too.
It gets it doesn't get good ratings really at all. But I
think people will go into it. They see a picture of Brad Pitt dressed up like a gangster holding a sawed-off shotgun. They're like, "Oh, this is gonna be like a sick assassin thrill pick," but it's like really not. And I think that turned people off. But like Gandolfini, phenomenal in that. Brad Pitt's so good in it. Like, was it Richard Jenkins at that end scene, that ending speech with I think Obama's on screen and do that big long ass speech where he's like, "Oh, people have hope in this country now," and he's like, Brad Pitt's like, "Oh, there is no hope. So pay me my fucking money." Like, it's good ass ending. I think that movie rocks.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it. So I won't say anything overly negative because I think could be the greatest movie ever. I don't know about that. I love the confidence in that though.
Yeah, it's a kind of. I mean, if it works out, like you're an all-time call your shot guy.
I met a guy this weekend who introduced himself as the craziest person he knows himself.
Oh, that's how you know they're not the craziest person.
I was like, okay, sure thing. Kind of does seem crazy. I was like, that's a bold statement. That's like you better.
What was his crazy move? What was his version of it? He like shotgunned a beer and he's like, "I'm the craziest motherfucker in the world," like a Barstool Submissions guy.
He didn't do anything crazy, but he
can't do that's so fucking crazy. Like you can't walk in and like proclaim that and then not do something crazy. That's like me walking in and being like, "Oh, I can throw a football longer than any human being alive," and like just like, "Oh, I'm not throwing a football." Like, what do you mean? You got to do it. You can't proclaim it and then not do it.
He was talking about ripping farts though right after. I thought that was pretty funny. It doesn't make him crazy.
Yeah, that's universal. Everyone loves farts.
I was like, like I do expect guy who says I'm the craziest person I know to then directly follow it up with a long fart, like just a combo about farts. Like that does.
He physically farted in front of you and then like just left and like crop dusted you essentially. Like that would have been fucking crazy. Like that would have been pretty awesome.
Yeah. We'll see. I'll give an update on craziest guy I've ever met. Or the guy who thinks he's the craziest person in the world. Ryan Gosling. First look at him as Ken in Greta Gerwig's Barbie movie released.
Surprisingly hot. Wow.
Yeah, like if you haven't seen it, I would just look up Ryan Gosling on Google. It's gonna be every news story. Yeah, he looks good. I don't really know what to say. Mm-hmm. Like, what is there to say?
Super sexy. I want to see the rest of the cast, to be honest. That's the one thing I'm really interested in. Like all the Ken dolls, like they have like Simu Liu in there, like a bunch of other people, and obviously all the girl cast as well is amazing. This is going to be, I think, the biggest showdown that's ever happened is that release date, which is supposed to be Oppenheimer and Barbie on the same day. It's going to be the Dudes Rock versus fucking girl bosses on that day. We're going to see who wins.
Yeah, I mean, you got Gosling, American Ferrer in it.
Oh God,
Timu's in it. Alexander Shipp's in it. Kate McKinnon.
Great.
Yeah. Oh, also, all right, hold on.
We're gonna mention this SNL guy.
We gotta talk about the SNL guy. Hold on.
He's so bad. He's so terrible.
I did not send a tweet about it because I just. Oh, also, you tweeted that you quoted that picture of Barron Trump. It will never not blow me away how fucking tall he is.
He's like 6'9", and that's the joke. The KB bit. Barron height 9'11" is that he thinks he's actually 9'11", 9'11".
He like the former president is a fucking giant, and he makes his dad look small.
Mm-hmm.
It is
taller
crazy.
every time I see him.
So the audio won't do it justice, but I'm gonna play it anyway. Ken Jack found a guy on TikTok. He describes himself as what, like
cross between Lin-Manuel Miranda and Andy Samberg.
All right, hold on. I'll fucking play it. 1 second.
I want to be the next SNL cast member, and here's why I should be a contender. Hi, Lord Michaels, I'm Jake Novak, and I know that you're feeling the heat because your roster lost Kate, Kyle, 80 MP. That means you got an open seat, and I feel I ought to be feeling it, because when it comes to comedy songs, I kind of been killing it. See, weekly music videos are my jam, bro. I'm a rapper, hammy, nerd, mixed with Sammy Bird.
Hold on. All right, hold on. I don't have to play this thing twice. I got to go back to that.
Yeah.
Mixed with Sammy Berg.
Sammy Berg. That's how you know it's about to be. There's two moments right early on where you know it's going to be good. Is like him saying like comedy songs are my thing and I've been killing it. Like, first of all, that's like your guy. The guy said, I'm the craziest motherfucker you'll ever meet. Like, that's this guy. Like you can't do that and then not make a funny comedy song. Like that's just brutal. And then Lin-Manuel Miranda, Sandy Berg, and then him saying bruh.
Berg. Okay, because here's my thing. I was not going to be a dick about this guy because like I think shit like this, you put it out there. Look, we do stuff, we get roasted sometimes. They get made fun of. Like it does suck. So I will give credit for throwing yourself out there. But this line right here is what I'll come back to. There's more though. Don't worry. If you haven't heard this, there's a minute more.
But haven't you heard? I'm more than a rapper. I'm an actor too. So here's a couple of nice guys getting their jackets after you. After you. After you. After you. After you. After you've seen that scene, I mean, I'm in, right? But I've been sitting on the ringer. In addition to the spitting, I'm a hell of a singer. I could be bouncing out on Broadway, but I'm running for 30 Rock. So I can hand deliver you the next dick in a box. Not literally, obviously. I really want to give you the next big thing. Oh, God. Dear Mr. Michaels, won't you give me a chance? My melodies will make the people laugh while they dance. All right, I'll perform, man. I'll sweep the stage. But whenever it is, I'm ready to do it in studio.
Wait, what did they call her? Like, hey, we do need a custodian. We actually do need somebody to sweep the stage.
The bizarre thing about this guy is that he undeniably has a modicum of talent, right? Like he's produced this thing, like it's produced well, like it's mixed well, the audio is good. He's like not bad at rapping or anything. It's just the content of the song is so bad and so cringy. Like if he set his mind towards anything else, he could be great. But like this is something that died in like if he had made this song and released it in 2011, he'd be the coolest guy who's ever existed. Like he'd be on Ellen, he'd be on like all these shows. Go make it doing the fucking circuit. And like he probably would get hired by SNL, but like this guy's just 10 years out of time. It's bad.
Here's the end of it.
H, what do you say? Did I dive or get you to bite? Maybe we could try it live on a Saturday night. So check my feed. You'll agree where I should be in September. Right with Colin Keenan, Chloe and Bowen as an SNL cast member.
Okay, you tweeted that it has 991 quote tweets.
Yeah. There was someone quote tweeted that with like beating him up in the quote tweets isn't enough. We need to kill him. Like it's just brutal. Like, and then he had the song after that, by the way. I don't know if you saw that one, the follow-up, where you had a 1 minute long song about kids getting killed by guns, and he harmonized like, oh, our kids are getting killed with shooting. It's like, how do you not recognize that is bad? Like that is such a horrible thing to do. Jesus, man. He's a freaky individual.
My thing is this is once you compare yourself to Andy Samberg, if you're going to make music like that, you're very clearly He makes the dick in the box jokes. That's like,
yeah.
So, okay, let's rewind. He makes no jokes. There are no jokes in this video.
Zero.
That's what kills me. This is like handing somebody a resume and it just says, I had jobs. And like, what are they? Go, I can't tell you. Like, there are no jokes in here. He's just saying, like, I could be funny. Then be funny.
Yeah.
Like, be funny.
Like, he's like applying to be a plumber, but he's only ever worked as a secretary. Like, it makes no sense. Like, it's like nothing you do right now fits what they do.
I just, and then to compare yourself to Andy Samberg, you better be fucking funny with the rest of this song. You're 20 seconds in with no jokes, and then your next joke is a skit about the jackets.
Yep.
Brutal.
It's brutal. Like, not only did he compare himself, he compared himself to obviously Andy Samberg, who's like one of the more not like crazy influential or anything like that, but one of the most recognizable comedians of the last like 20 years. And then you compare yourself to Lin-Manuel Miranda, like the most famous playwright of the last 20 years. You're like, yeah, that's like me. I'm mixed up like these two incredibly recognizable and talented human beings. And then like you just drop nothing. You drop like a kind of exaggerated story with no jokes, just very softcore rap. Like it's dumb. It's so stupid. Like, again, and that's the most frustrating thing is he obviously has like a talent. He just has no clue of what's funny. That's the most frustrating thing.
Unreal. Again, yes, I think putting yourself out there like that, it is not easy. Getting roasted online is not fun. We've all been there. Sucks. You compare yourself to Andy Samberg and Lin-Manuel Miranda, though, you better fucking deliver something. You gotta give me one joke.
I felt bad after I posted him. But then when I watched the school shootings one, I was just like, okay, I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Like it was instantaneous. I was like, I am completely uncaged and unfettered.
I was wondering when I checked the quotes, I was going to wonder if there would be like a legion of people going after you, like telling you no. They were significantly meaner than you. You didn't say anything mean. You said pain.
Yeah, that's
people
just
were very
cringy. People were like,
just shut the hell up.
Yeah. Like people were like outraged by it. Like we need to end society because of this one man. Like I just thought it was cringy. Like it's uncomfortable to watch.
We'll play. Gooch wants to play. Well, I'll play another clip after. I can't play back to back. That's too much free press for this guy. I will play another clip later. That's my promise. Denzel Washington returning for a third Equalizer film.
Equalizer, like Robbie said.
Yep. Dakota Fanning in it as well.
Like Man on Fire reboot, which I love.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. I don't have much to say on that. Whatever.
Well, I did mention, I remember I talked about this earlier. The one thing that show or that movie needs is to include Queen Latifah. Like they need to have her in some sort of cameo.
It's the number one fucking show on TV, right?
Yeah, like the Nielsen ratings are through the roof. Like their finale of their last season was only like I think a couple thousand away from the last Super Bowl in Nielsen ratings. It was crazy.
Like she's gonna have to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like remember when Ice Cube carrying the Triple X? Remember Ice Cube in the Triple X third movie?
Yeah. That's right. Forgot about that. Return of Xander Cage.
First trailer for Bros, starring Billy Eichner, directed by Nicholas Stoller, who did Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Hits theaters in September. Two men with commitment problems attempt their relationship. Thoughts on Bros?
It was funny. Like, I thought it was a pretty funny trailer. I think the Office GIF bit really I got a good rise out of me. Like, oh, an Office GIF. This guy's not gay. Like that was a very funny joke, and hopefully that's not the funniest one in the whole movie. But I like Nick Stoller Nick Stoller, right? Forgetting Sarah Marshall, all-time great romantic comedy. So why not? Billy Eichner, I think, is an under. Like I feel like he gets the rep of being the Billy in the Street guy, but he actually is pretty fucking good at acting, like in other gigs. So like I'm happy for him getting out there.
He hadn't directed a movie since Storks, since live action is Neighbors 2.
I sneaky love Storks. I'm a Storks guy. I thought that was a really funny movie. Andy Samberg too in that.
Neighbors 2 was not bad too. It was like a decent follow-up because I feel like that could have been bad. 5-year engagement, which I know you had a big 5-year engagement stand on Twitter in our mentions not that long ago. Shout out to that person.
I love that movie. It was because I think Robbie had seen it for the first time and he really liked it, and I was like, I think I was tweeting with him. Someone tweeted at us. So yeah, that was I like that movie a lot.
Look, he was a writer. He was a writer on Zoolander 2. We won't mention that again.
Yeah,
that's
produced
fine.
all the Muppet movies, like Gooch is saying.
Yep, and the Muppets like soft reboot, but like really sequel, whatever, soft reboot sequel. Still love it. Like high marks for me. By the way, you can now sort on movierankings.net by sequels, reboots, remakes, and prequels and spinoff. Added that under the subgenre feature. Next up, Guy Ritchie will direct the Russo brothers live action Hercules adaptation. First person, I think, to direct 2 different live action Disney movies, because this is a Disney movie, right?
Yeah.
Not this, because I know Hercules is obviously. I mean, Hercules is like
he's like a Greek god, but like
he's in other shit. Like he's in wasn't even he's gonna be basically like
the Rock movie.
We're in Thor, so it's like
and there's the Rock movie that was pretty bad. Yes,
bad. I think it's Guy Ritchie. Would I prefer? You tweeted, would I prefer Guy Ritchie to do these movies? No, but I continue. I think except for Meek Jafar, Aladdin was pretty solid. I think if Jafar had been a better villain, I thought the Aladdin was solid.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think the big thing is like I would just wish he would be doing more crime comedies, doing more stuff like The Gentleman, which I still think is an awesome movie, and we're even like rewatching now. Nothing like Wrath of Man. Just do more of The Gentleman stuff, and I'm down. But like it's like you're saying, like he did make the best live action Disney movie, like live action Disney remake, whatever. So like that is definitely going for him. At the same time, like I don't think that there's a way that you make live action Hercules and I'm like this rocks, especially because like the original, the animated version is great, and like I think that it has weirdly great adult humor in it for whatever that means. Like the James Woods character has so many great lines in that are like I don't understand how a kid could possibly get the jokes. Like Rip Torn voicing Zeus in it, and so many things with gods I feel like are better suited for the animated medium. Like with Aladdin, at least like you have one truly godly thing, like one really like outrageous thing. Like the setting is regular, like it's just a town, and like the characters are regular and real. But like these are all like you need a lot of CGI, and that is something that I think has tanked a lot of these live action remakes. So I'm not entirely enthused about it in general happening, and I think I would just rather Guy Ritchie have the time to go do something else that he's more better suited to do. He's the best crime comedy director in the game by far. Like he's literally like nobody can touch him in that genre.
More details to come on that probably. We talked about that with them, and they wanted to like do their own thing and shit. We don't really have any other details. I hope the Michael Bolton song is back.
Yeah, great song.
I'd be very upset if they didn't bring back the Michael Bolton song.
That one and like the Gospel Truth, great song. Like what do you call it? What's their marquee one? I Can Go the Distance. I Can Go the Distance, right?
That's the whatchamacallit song. That's the Michael Bolton song. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Zero to Hero too. Good point, Gooch. Great song. Zero to Hero is great. Good music. So we'll see. I mean,
Danny DeVito back as was it Chiron? I forget. Oh, Phil. No, it's Phil in that movie.
My expectations for those movies low now. They're just not high anymore. So we'll see. Yeah. The Barry Jenkins one, they're high though. Barry Jenkins. I know you're gonna do a Lion King too, but that's like, man, if he we talked about this recently, if he brings home a good movie, Lion King 2, that's an all-time flex.
Yes.
Like all-time flex.
If he could flip the public opinion on it, it would be insane.
Yeah. 3 animated Last Airbender films now in development at Paramount Nickelodeon, and also Brian Cox will voice the King of Rohan in the Lord of the Rings anime. That's coming out in 2024, which is the untold story of Helm's Deep. That's cool.
Yeah, Brian Cox rolls. I feel like he's somebody that should have been in Lord of the Rings in the first place. Like he's like one of those actors that was doing stuff around that time similar. Like he was the uncle in Braveheart in what was that, like 98, maybe 96. But yeah, I feel like he's someone should have already been there. I'm glad he's getting a little bit of a shine in Lord of the Rings.
And then Avatar: Last Airbender not being live action is always that's good to hear.
Yeah, and plus they have the original creators on as producers, Konietzko and DiMartino. So that's amazing. The live action one's going to be fucking cheeks. Which also that new Lord of the Rings series from Amazon. The more I think about that show, they dropped that one trailer. Everyone fucking hated it. They've gone radio silent since. They have not mentioned it once. So something tells me there's something going on there.
They also the way the cast talks about that movie the way the original cast from the movies talks about that series is so negative.
Mm-hmm.
like almost like
It's very funny to watch.
That ain't our shit. Like they kind of like push it down the tracks. Like we don't fucking do anything with that, which is never. That's not a good sign.
The guy who played Gimli, John Rhys Davies, I think his name is. I remember he hated playing him so much because he had to wear like the prosthetics, and they didn't realize that he was allergic to latex. So like every day he had to go there, get a latex reaction, fucking up his whole entire face. It would just ruin his day. He was also like 6'5" and like playing a dwarf, which is just weird, but
it doesn't help much. What else? Justin Lin will direct Sony's live action One Punch Man.
That's a show. There's a million animes in the world that like sure take a shot at adapting it into live action like Cowboy Bebop, which should theoretically have worked. But One Punch Man is so ingrained in knowing other anime and knowing manga. Like you need to know those things in order to really truly understand One Punch Man. And One Punch Man is so fantastical. There's no way you can do it in live action. It would work. There's 0% chance. Like I would literally eat my fucking shorts if that show was good or movie was good. There's no fucking way.
He obviously I think there were rumors or there was what people said, hey, he's leaving fast. He's going to have a big franchise. This seems to be it. Track record, not great. Adapting anime. And the more and more I've watched, and I've watched much slower, but I've caught up a lot in the movie world. Watch Cowboy Bebop. Like the more you watch, the more it's one of those things that just makes sense. Like, we're big, like the book is never better people. And like, what, but like, it's one of those original source materials that the more you watch and the more you learn and appreciate it, the more you're like, Jesus Christ, this has no business being live action. This just,
and again, like something like Cowboy Bebop is basically The Mandalorian. So like theoretically, like you could work. It's a space Western. Like it could work. It's been proven to work. But like when you have stuff like One Punch Man or like Neon Genesis Evangelion, like stuff like that is just too. It requires way too much CGI. It requires way too much like fantastical, like computer generated effects and all that shit. Like you just can't do it in live action. It doesn't work. The whole reason it works in anime is because they have no limits to what they can make and what they can show you. So it's maddening when they try to adapt one of those. Like even, what's the greatest example of it is that fucking Dragon Ball Z movie with Justin Chatwin from War of the Worlds. One of the worst movies ever made. So bad. Like you just can't do it. I'm sorry. It's just never going to happen.
Cowboy Bebop was so bad. So bad, the live action. It was so bad.
It's like brutal. The person who made it had never watched the show because they had no understanding of any of the characters whatsoever.
It's one of those things where like you hope that somebody doesn't discover that before hearing about the anime and then like won't give the original thing a chance. Like, no, that shit sucks. Like, which I'm sure, I'm sure that happened with Avatar too, with Last Airbender. I'm sure people watched the original who didn't know because like, oh, it's Nickelodeon. Like, oh, big movie, M. Night. I'm like, I won't watch that. I saw the movie. It's dog shit. Like, it's one of the things like that it's not like an epidemic. It's not like happening everyone. But I'm just saying it's like just like one person probably thought that. You're like, damn, that sucks.
Missed out one of the greatest cartoons of all time. Just a fucking M. Night Shyamalan.
I'm gonna do a full get through of that after the boys. The boys is up first.